Richie.
Hello, Ed.
How are you?
Fine, thank you.
It's been a while since we've seen the ghost hunter. You've been trotting all over the world, haven't you?
I just left Bachelors Grove Cemetery tonight to get out here.
And you just got here from the cemetery. See, Richard's favorite spot in the whole world, cemeteries. I mean, most people like to go out to dinner in a banquet hall. A lot of people like to go to the movies. Given the choice between a good movie or a bite on the neck from a vampire bat, Rich will go with a bat every time, won't you?
The bats were flying around tonight. I wish there were more. They would have eaten more mosquitoes up for us.
Oh, now you want to be scientific, huh? 25 minutes after midnight. Let us talk a moment about, I suppose, the most, either the most or the second most famous haunted location in the Chicago area, which has got to be Bachelors Grove. Would you please tell us where Bachelors Grove is, how long it's been there, what it is, and why it's considered to be haunted?
Well, I'll oblige some of those questions, Ed. I think it's on 143rd Street, just east of Ridgeland Avenue. It is a small little community cemetery that dates back to the 1840s and that period just around the latter 1830s, early 1840s. It's a small cemetery that was set up by the original settlers in the area who were indeed bachelors. That's where the name comes from. And for some reason, which is not quite clear, it's been reputedly haunted for generations. And you can talk to old-timers in the area going back as far back as people are still alive. And people have always noted that that was a place to watch out for, a place to stay away from. Now, the kinds of things that go on there vary a great deal, and yet they do center around the cemetery and the surrounding grove around it, and include things like a blue ghost light that has been seen coming out at night, which has not been seen recently, in recent times. There is a full-size wooden farmhouse, sometimes referred to as the disappearing house, because there is no house out there, and yet this house has been seen at various points along the dirt road into the cemetery, and at points on either side of the creek out there, running along next to the cemetery. That has been seen up until relatively recently, but the most interesting things that have been reported recently, I would say, are the disappearing cars. People seeing a car up ahead of the road and suddenly getting up there and it's not there. The same kind of phenomena that's been reported from some other places around the Chicago area. The Cuba Road area northwest of Chicago is one. And this disappearing car thing is quite real because I've seen it happen twice. I've seen a car parked at the side of the road disappear as I passed it within 7-8 feet of it. And last September, in driving out Cicero Avenue, heading down Midlothian Turnpike into 143rd, I saw a car backing across the road diagonally from Bachelors Grove, that is, cemetery. And that particular car pulled into the darkness, cut its lights. I thought it cut its lights. And within seconds, when I got to the site that it had pulled into, I saw the chain up across the entrance to the parking lot, and no way that anyone could have gotten out and put that chain back up that quickly. The car that I had seen backing across the road and cut its lights apparently had vanished. It hadn't cut its lights at all, but just vanished in the darkness at the side of the road.
So you've had a few experiences yourself.
Yes, after, I would say, hundreds of times out there. Of course, things have been photographed out there on film. Anomalies have shown up on film, particularly Polaroid SX70 film, SX70 color cameras. It's just an area, a whole hotbed of strange happenings out that way.
Now, that is property of the Cook County Forest Preserve District?
That's now under Cook County jurisdiction. That's correct.
What's the story out there about people trespassing? Now, once a piece of property is designated as a cemetery, it remains a cemetery in perpetuity unless that is changed by an act of the Illinois General Assembly. There's been a lot of vandalism out there, many people violating the Forest Preserve rules about prowling around after 11 p.m. Do you still find vandalism? Are they still breaking the law, and is this still a hot spot?
Well, the area is now, the cemetery itself is fenced in, and I, of course, am not condoning anyone to be breaking curfew laws by going out there at night. But if you're out in that area of the woods during the daytime, by all means, take a walk back there and enjoy the scenery and take a look around. Take a look at the old cemetery. It's one of the largest of the little community cemeteries still in existence around Chicago, that sort. One of the, well, let's say the largest little cemetery of that sort out there. There are a few other plots in the forest preserves tucked away. And for those of you that are into these sort of things, the the source that I use for so many of these is the Tribune map, the Chicago Tribune map of Chicago, because even the smallest little family plot tucked away in the middle of the woods is marked by a little tiny cross, even if it doesn't have a name anymore. With that particular plot, you can take a look at the map and maybe use a magnifying glass to go through it. But you will find dozens upon dozens of these little tiny pockets of lost and early Chicago history tucked away in the woods somewhere.